You spend an hour with someone and you're exhausted, not physically tired, emotionally depleted, like they suck the energy right out of you. You need hours alone just to recover from being in their presence. Meanwhile, other people energize you, leave you feeling good, inspired, uplifted. So what's the difference? Why do certain people drain you while others don't? Here's the psychology behind energy vampires and why your exhaustion around them is a warning sign you need to pay attention to. First, understand that energy isn't metaphorical. It's real. You have a finite amount of mental and emotional resources every day. Some interactions replenish those resources, others deplete them. The people who drain you are taking more than they're giving. They're extracting value without providing any, and your body is telling you through exhaustion that this exchange is unsustainable. You're operating at a deficit. And if you keep allowing it, you'll burn out completely. Here's what actually happens when you're around someone draining. They monopolize the conversation. Everything circles back to them, their problems, their drama, their needs. You try to share something about your life and they either interrupt or give a dismissive response before redirecting to themselves. You're not in a conversation, you're in an audience. They're performing and you're just there to validate and respond. That one-sidedness exhausts you because you're giving attention and emotional labor without receiving anything in return. Think about the people who drain you most. They're almost always in crisis. There's always something wrong, always drama, always chaos. And they need you to help them process it, comfort them, solve it. But here's the pattern. Nothing ever actually gets resolved. The same problems repeat. The same patterns continue. Because they don't want solutions, they want attention. They want you to play the role of supporter, therapist, savior. And that role requires constant emotional output from you with no recovery time. The psychology behind why certain people drain your energy is simple. They're emotionally unstable and they use other people to regulate themselves. They can't self-soothe. They can't process their own emotions. They can't generate their own sense of stability or worth. So they extract it from you. They dump their anxiety onto you and walk away feeling lighter while you're left holding all that emotional weight. You've become their external emotional regulation system, and it's destroying you. Watch for the person who only reaches out when they need something. They disappear when life is good. But the moment there's a crisis, suddenly you're their best friend. They need to talk, they need advice, they need support. You show up for them because you care. You invest your time and energy, and then once the crisis passes, they vanish again, until the next problem. They're not your friend. They're using you as an emotional dumping ground, and you keep allowing it because you mistake their need for connection. Here's the brutal truth about energy vampires. They're not taking from you accidentally. They know what they're doing, maybe not consciously. But on some level, they recognize that you're someone who gives, someone who cares, someone who won't set boundaries, and they exploit that. They've learned that if they show up with problems, you'll drop everything to help. If they play victim, you'll rescue them. If they create drama, you'll engage with it. Your predictable response enables their draining behavior. Some people drain you because they're deeply negative. Everything is a complaint. Everything is terrible. Everyone has wronged them. They see problems in everything and solutions in nothing. When you're around them, you're constantly trying to reframe, to find the positive, to offer perspective, and it's exhausting because they reject every attempt. They don't want to feel better. They want to wallow. And they want you to wallow with them. Your optimism becomes a target they have to defeat, and that constant emotional combat drains you completely. There's another type of draining person, the one who's constantly competitive with you. You share good news and they immediately top it with their better news. You mention a struggle and they have a worse one. You achieve something and instead of celebrating with you, they diminish it or make it about themselves. Every interaction becomes a competition you didn't sign up for, and the effort required to navigate their insecurity while not getting the support you need leaves you depleted. But here's what you need to understand. The exhaustion you feel around certain people is information. Your body is telling you this person is bad for you, that this relationship is imbalanced, that you're giving more than you're receiving, that you need to create distance or enforce boundaries. The fatigue isn't your weakness. It's your warning system. And ignoring it because you feel guilty or obligated is self-betrayal. Some people drain you because they're manipulative. They use guilt. They play victim. They twist situations to make you feel responsible for their emotional state. They create scenarios where you're always wrong and they're always hurt. And navigating their manipulation requires constant vigilance. Constant emotional labor. Constant questioning of your own reality. That cognitive and emotional load exhausts you. Because you're not just interacting with them, you're defending yourself from them. And that shouldn't be what relationship feels like. Watch what happens when you try to set boundaries with someone who drains you. They don't respect them. They push back. They make you feel guilty for having needs. They accuse you of being selfish or abandoning them. They escalate their crisis to pull you back in. Because your boundaries threaten their supply. They need you depleted and available. They need you without the strength to say no. Your exhaustion serves them, so they'll fight to maintain the dynamic that creates it. Here's what you need to do. Stop making yourself available to people who drain you. Stop answering every call. Stop engaging with every crisis. Stop prioritizing their needs over your own energy management. You don't owe anyone access to you at the cost of your own well-being. Friendship isn't about endless sacrifice. Connection isn't about one person giving and another taking. Real relationships energize both people. They're reciprocal, balanced, sustainable. The people who drain you won't change because you keep accommodating them. They'll only change when their behavior stops working. When you stop being available to drain, when you enforce consequences for their energy vampirism, and if they can't adapt to a healthier dynamic, that tells you everything you need to know. They don't value you, they value what you provide. And you deserve better than being someone's emotional resource to exploit. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with someone. Energized or depleted, uplifted or heavy, inspired or exhausted. Your body doesn't lie. Your emotions don't lie. That drained feeling is truth. It's telling you this person costs too much, that the relationship is extractive, that you need to protect yourself. Listen to it. Trust it. And start making decisions based on your energy, not their needs. You only have so much to give. Stop wasting it on people who only take.